You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we're just all sitting around here playing with our phones because I have Jessica Valley Reams on today. We're going to talk about Fitability and her new facility and what's going on with them and how you can use their services and support her mission in this. She's been on, this is what, your third time to be on the show, maybe?
Third or fourth.
Third or fourth. I lose count. I mean, Speaking of which, I want to get this taken care of right away while it's on my mind because I forget things. September 21st, put that on your calendar. That's going to be National Giving Day. And we're going to have,
oh, yes.
We'll have you on again. I already have 3 of your peers already booked up.
Which ones?
Harvest House, Center for ASD, and Promises Community.
Good ones.
Yes. And I have Crazy 8 on Thursday's show. I bet they'll hook up too. But it's it sounds like that's almost 3.5 months away. You'd be surprised how quickly things go by, and you don't want to let it go. But anyway, so we're going to talk about a new facility. While she's sending some photos and such to Taylor, I'll talk about the sponsors so I can give her some time to concentrate. Oh, is this a new logo for CrossFit?
Oh.
Yeah, they had it on their website, so I pulled it over.
Okay, well, good.
There you go.
I had their new owners on a week ago today.
Oh, they have new owners?
Yes, Daniel sold it to a couple of young ladies. Let's get the names right, Haley and Lex, and they were on the show. And, and most people aren't going to really notice a lot of difference. I mean, they still have a lot of the same programs and a lot of the same membership plans and things of that kind of thing. So it's not going to be like a tremendous overhaul. One thing they are going to emphasize more is bodybuilding. So they talked about that. But it's a pretty nice, it's always a great gym. It's on overall in Wilshire, and it's right behind Stone City Soup and all those strip malls and whatnot. What do you call it? Little stores. But anyway, it's a great facility. They're going to be expanding their facility. So these 2 young ladies are very excited about their new possibilities. So thank you, CrossFit. Also, of course, the Stogstill Group with Shandy. She's handling my daughter's move right now, and it's, God willing, it'll go through in about a week. But I'm sure, as Jess will tell you here, when you open up a new home or facility, you're dealing with real estate. It's just all these details.
These details.
And so you need somebody like Shandy to help navigate you through that because she says, this is happening, and like, why do we even need that? But I guess that's the way it works. But anyway, so thank you, Shandy, for what you're doing. Of course, Otto at our place. I just came from there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We did a little fundraiser grand opening of the new facility, and he sent over 2 $50 gift cards to raffle off.
That's Otto, isn't it?
I know. All I was like, hey, do you have like one free meal? He's like, here's $100. And then he was like, hey, talk to these people. They'll give you some more. Tell them I sent you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's happened a lot. He wasn't there today because Tuesday usually is his day off, but his son runs it, and Lana runs it. And it's a great place. I do a lot of my networking group meetings there, like that's what I was doing this morning. And it's a good place to go do business. And Otto's a true citizen of our community, so thank you, Otto. Also, thank you to Chris. He's another citizen of the community. He's into helping the community out a lot. Over to Wild Cigar and Culture, over to Standard. They got drink specials, they got cigar specials, and it's a good atmosphere.
That is not one that I've partaken of.
You need to. Does your husband smoke cigars?
Nope.
Well, see, here's the drill. You don't have to.
I know. I've heard they put, the big, huge ventilation system.
Oh, it is.
So
and
our neighbor goes over there all the time.
Well, you go over there, and it has the aroma of cigars, but it isn't like clouds of smoke or anything like that. It's nothing like that at all. And but a lot of people go there for the drinks because it's one of the nice. It is the nicest bar. So if you went over there, you don't have to buy a cigar, even though maybe somebody who does. You can buy them a gift card.
Yeah.
And so it's a good place to do business. Yeah. Also a little council room, I guess you want to call it. You have small business meetings there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Also, thank you to Tiffany Nico over at the Local Life. Check out locallifetx.com and check out the QR code because she's having a big party at the Pavilion on July 4th. And, there's going to be vendors, there's going to be games, there's going to be food, and you're going to have a really good seat to see the fireworks show.
Yeah, it's a great seat.
Yeah, and it's a nice location.
Do it.
And they got that pavilion out there at the Standard, and it's really nice. I was there a couple years ago, and it's worth the time. So Local Life, the magazine's already out. The new one will be out in about 2 weeks, and so give her a holler. Also, Southern Gym, the big move is starting Thursday.
Where are they moving?
Downstairs.
Okay.
They're on the 3rd floor, and they're going down to the 1st floor, and they're going to have about 3 times the space.
They're going to go where the hair salon was?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
They're right next
That's
to
a good
American
space, yeah.
right next to American Revelry, and she wanted to move there about 4 months ago, but all of these delays, it just
Always.
the display cabinets were delayed. This contractor was late. The flooring was delayed 2 weeks. All this other stuff. And so we played Joe Biden, of course, and but it's going to be very nice. And next time you take your husband, you can park him in the bullpen because he's going to have a place there with refreshments and a big TV.
Nice.
And so they'll have sports on of some kind. They're big into horse racing, so at least that. And so while he's staring at the tube, you could be spending the mortgage money on jewelry, whatever.
Yeah, the mortgage money.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Well, she has some pretty high end stuff and some very affordable stuff,
Right.
and so it's not like
Yeah,
one
but I
type
like
of
the
customer.
mortgage stuff.
You like the high end stuff. Yes, my
saying.
wife does that. She'll send me pictures. Isn't this lovely? And she'll show a ring, and I'll say, "Oh, those are lovely nails." Yes. And also, thank you to Old Pro Roofing. Now, I bet they're busy. Did you get hit?
Yes, big time. Did you?
Yeah, my car has a couple of divots in it. We didn't get out that bad. As far as the roof goes, though, I think we'll be okay. But I'm not going to take that chance. So he's part of my networking group, John is, and I'm going to have him, put us on the schedule. I'm going to take a look.
Yep,
but
I got somebody.
I bet his phone. Oh yeah, you mentioned somebody as well, but he pays.
Right.
See,
I said I got somebody coming out also.
Oh yeah, John Williams is the local rep here at 817-734-2756.
They do a lot of work in our neighborhood too.
Yes, they do, and ours, and I bet they're going to do some again.
Oh yeah.
And I hear there's a lot of roofers that are swarming the neighborhoods, and I don't begrudge anybody making a living, but you want somebody like Old Pro. They have their main locations right in the middle of Old Town, and they've been here a long time, and the reputation is solid. So you want somebody and not just some guy that knocks on your door, and there you are. Also, I'm sure this phone's ringing. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Melissa Harmon is our agent, 682-804-0534. And John will tell you, and others will tell you in their group that deal with insurance, that Texas Farm Bureau is one of the best in dealing with their clients. They're not looking to try to shave a few dollars or find a way out of it or something like that. They have an outstanding reputation for customer service. And John, the roofer, and Lisa, who's coming up next, who deal with insurance, said they are so much easier to deal with as a contractor than a lot of these other insurance companies are. So Texas Farm Bureau, you check it out, 682-804-0534. And I bet next time, before this happens again, you want to see if your insurance is going to be up to snuff. Also, I mentioned her already, Lisa, over at Stop Restoration. If you had some damage, water damage, if you some of this hail that looked like coming in was about the size of baseballs or better.
Uh-huh.
Some of the pictures I saw on Facebook, and if it's damaged your roof or damaged in your broke windows in your house, whatever else, and you had water damage, you want to get rid of it as fast as possible because you don't want to let it fester and get moldy.
No.
Well, one thing that all three of these people will tell you, by the way, if you think, well, I don't really have any need for this right now, and this happens again, you're going to have a harder time getting your roof done because of prior damage.
Right.
So that's why you need to have it inspected or have Lisa and Morris come check out if there's any water damage right away, because after a year, it's very difficult to file claims. Texas Farm Bureau will do it, but others won't. So there you are. And I think as far as any of the nonprofits, we got the Juneteenth celebration coming up Saturday night. Right? Get it right, dummy. 7:30 to 9 o'clock Saturday night, Juneteenth. I'm really glad we're doing this. I'm glad Burleson's embracing our diversity because when I moved here, it wasn't very diverse.
No.
Now it is,
Yes.
and they all need to have the recognition, like we do at Cinco de Mayo,
Right.
and all that. So it's a good thing. Juneteenth, Saturday night, June 17th. All right.
Right before Father's Day.
I mentioned that, And my wife says, every day's Father's Day, so it's a big deal.
I'm gonna shamelessly plug this, but it's my birthday also.
On the 18th?
Yeah. So I
Mine
have
is
to share that.
You have to share that. So, 31, 30.
Oh,
yeah.
I love you so much. No, 41.
41. Well, you're hanging in there,
Barely.
How old are your kids?
11, 8, and 8. Yep.
I wouldn't want to go back to that.
They are at church camp this week.
Oh, blessings.
So they stay with my mother all week because she drives them back and forth to it's Pantego out near Arlington.
Yeah, I know that joint.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like in Texas, everybody sends their kids to church camp,
yeah.
even the heathens.
Well, because it's camp.
So do you send your kids to vacation Bible school? Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you're Jewish, right? I don't care. I'm sending them to vacation Bible school.
That's like 4 hours every day.
Right. So, it's amazing. So that's Texas for you. But anyway, as we are yucking it up here, when did you open up your new facility?
February. Yeah.
Okay, but you had the kind of the grand opening about 2 weeks ago, did you?
Yeah, so we had to get all of the stuff in the door. We were working on getting the AC put in because there's no point in having a grand opening when it could be 95 degrees and we're all sweating. And so the AC just recently got finished.
Well, just in time.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be 100 degrees later this week. But, you had that facility across the street from us where we are right now. And it just, you were telling me even then it was too small for what you needed.
Yeah. If we wanted to expand and help more people and get more trainers and have like group classes and just be able to provide more services, 1,000 square feet wasn't going to do it.
All right. So how big is this one?
2,500.
Okay. So obviously a lot more space.
Yes.
And have you gotten additional staff yet?
Nope. Same ones.
Yeah. Okay.
We're a special breed of people.
Yes, I would imagine.
There has to be compassion and understanding and just patience. Patience is huge.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I couldn't do what you do. It's not that it's not needed. I just don't have that skill. I don't have that kind of patience and the understanding of the situation that's necessary for that.
Yeah. A lot of times there's a lot of health issues that also come with people with physical and intellectual disabilities in general. And, even though we have a form that says, please give us 6 hours, sometimes it'll be, 2 hours before our session. And it's like, he just had a seizure. Okay, don't worry about it. It's cool.
Yeah, what can you do, right?
Right. Bring him. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to charge you.
Yeah.
You knew that was, you understanding.
Yeah. But you mentioned mental and physical disabilities. Are they trained separately?
Well, yeah. But sometimes people with intellectual disabilities typically comes that slower progression of your basic movements, right? So somebody with an intellectual disability at 2 years old may still be laying in bed and not crawling yet, or somebody at 10 may have just started learning how to walk.
Really? My goodness.
So, I don't work with that age because that's more of physical therapy and they get, adapted PE, hopefully. That was my previous job. I highly recommend.
Being at the public schools?
If you do not have access to that, if you have a child within the school system, request it.
I don't know if Burleson does, actually.
They do.
Okay, that's good. I don't remember it as such. I do remember, I guess this is what it was. I do remember they had PE for those types of situations. I guess that's what we're talking about, but I don't remember it
They
called
do
that.
actually have two... Well, let me back up. I think there's only one left that's actually a certified adapted physical education teacher within Burleson. There used to be two. I think there's only one left.
Is it at the high school or is there a special school?
No, they cover the entire district.
And so they come like they just travel. They're itinerant teachers.
Itinerant, yes, but I don't know if, because that's not my department. I work with Fort Worth. We actually have teachers that physically go in and teach. But I know a lot of their stuff was communicating with the PE teachers, going, here's a program that would work for your students. Here are some ideas. I don't know if they physically teach or not.
Well, we're taking a break for the summer, but BISD has a monthly show now on here, which I'm very proud to do. I'm very excited about that. And their communications director, Michaela Hill, will send me people. I can ask for people or ask for positions. And I thought about in September we pick it up again. I'd like to talk about special ed because that's such a big thing for so many people in our community. You know, when I was at the high school, I got to know a lot of the special ed parents because I got to be on a couple of committees. And I tell you what, special ed parents, I want them in the foxhole with me.
Oh, yeah. Especially highly educated and not necessarily in like they have doctorate degrees or anything like that, but that they know the law.
Oh, every one of them
read
did.
Every single book.
Right.
Because a lot of times, and I hate to talk badly about people, but in general, working with people, because I had 2 kids in special education, and we were just talking about speech therapy and like ADHD and 504 modifications. A lot of times they're like, oh, that's not such a big deal.
You talk about the staff, you mean?
Yeah, implementing those.
Well, I've heard that before, but you know, I knew that if I didn't implement the 504, I'd be sticking way out there legally, and the BISD would not be there at my defense if I pointedly neglected to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and people say, well, you taught AP. You didn't have 504 kids. Oh,
like, oh yeah, you do.
You betcha I do. You know, I had dyslexic students. I had students with hearing or vision issues. I had students
just
with
because
ADHD.
they have a 504 or a disability, a diagnosed disability, doesn't mean they're not smart and can't academically surpass me.
Well, yeah. Well, I had a couple of them that reminded me like of Sheldon Cooper at Big Bang. They had social skills that needed working on, but boy, they were knocking the ball out of the park in my classes, you know, high grades. And so, you know, the idea that this kind of accommodations only go with a certain kind of student is just totally erroneous. I think people outside of that don't know that. But when I went to, you know, was doing these committees and whatnot, these parents, they came in loaded for bear. They knew the law, they knew what they were going to get, and they weren't going to walk out of there without it. They weren't there to make friends. And so, you know, and they weren't hateful. They just knew.
Like, my child needs this. You're going to provide it because you've said that they need it.
And the law said that they need it. And, you know, they had the law on their side. Yeah. So, but one of the things, I don't know if it's still the case. I bet it is, but for a long, long time, other districts would go to Burleson ISD to see what kind of programs they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind of interesting because when I started in the district in 1988, the 2 programs that were getting like statewide attention were special ed and the talented and gifted program, which was taken over by the AP.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we got off the topic a little bit about fitability.
Hey, I'm very, very passionate about special education too.
But you're still are you a certified teacher?
Yeah, I just renewed my certification. You know, if this doesn't pan out, which it will. But, you know,
you think positive.
It's not going to make millions, you know, but.
Yeah, but you know, it does provide a service that I'd never even thought about it until we met. You know, I had no idea that, you know, physical fitness for disabled people was an issue.
Like, who knew, right?
Yeah, you know, I just didn't think about it because, you know, the guys I saw at the high school, they would do some sort of physical activities, you know, like.
Yeah, they get services.
Yeah, they would, you know, not just in PE, but they would do stuff like I was in there a couple times and they were doing like, I wouldn't call them calisthenics. It wasn't that extensive, but it was about movement exercises,
right.
You know, teaching them movements and things like that. It almost looked like, you know, they were doing yoga of some sort, you know, but.
We have taught yoga.
Yeah.
We went out to Hughes Middle School one year and taught yoga out there because the special ed teacher was very much like, this is what they need. Let's give them something else. So we've been out there before. Is
it possible you can like contract out with BISD and do that on a part-time basis?
We are trying.
You know, that'd be a great thing. One of the things I wish, they may have changed again. It's been 7 years since I worked for BISD, but one of the things I wish they would do is they would hire part-timers more. They didn't do that back in.
Yeah.
The only time they ever did that is in an extreme urgency, like we just had. Like we had a part-time geography teacher because the classes are just so large. But I wish they did more of that, you know, like adjuncts.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because, you know, would you want to go to their place or would you want them to come out to your place?
Oh, it really depends on what they have to offer. If we're doing yoga, we can do that anywhere. If we're doing weight training and you have equipment that the kids could utilize, then why not do it there? But... you know, we've got other stuff.
Wouldn't your weight equipment, though, be a little bit different? I can't imagine, you know, some of these guys heaving the iron around like the football team does.
And that's typically what they have. They have your generic, weights, squat rack, that kind of stuff. As an APE teacher, I did go in there and work with a couple students to be able to use that kind of equipment and adapt what they were doing in the classroom so that they could use it. But my equipment's more of like the stacked weights, right? So we change it with the pin and you change it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Taylor, I didn't get the link, I don't think.
I'll resend it.
All right. Anyway, I'm just thinking that, the kind of equipment you need is probably very specialized. It's not something you just go to the weightlifting store or whatever,
It is.
It is?
Oh, yeah. Everything I have, you can currently everything I have, you can find at the gym. Part of our next step is getting equipment that's specific for people in wheelchairs and people who are ambulatory. There's a whole set out there that has a removable chair that is, the pins are super easy to lift up and rotate out. So somebody who is in a wheelchair can utilize that same piece of equipment that you and I can. So it's the same as, let's say, like the chest press in the gym, right? So you and I go in and we sit down on the chair and we do our little exercise. And then let's say I have a client who is in a wheelchair who then wants to utilize that same piece of equipment. They just pull the pin, move the chair, and ta-da.
Just like that.
Yep.
All right, now we got all the postings here.
Ooh, yay.
All right, anyway, I just was thinking, though, you might have not quite the amount of weight that they're not you're not trying to build bodybuilders and Olympics champions, but
currently I am not, but I have a trainer who can.
Really?
Yeah. If that is well, because they have Special Olympics weightlifting.
Oh, I guess that's true. I didn't think of that.
And then I just started following a guy with Down syndrome who competed in I don't know which one he competed in, but some bodybuilding competition.
That's interesting. Well, because bodybuilding is like a 24/7 occupation,
And that's all he posts.
Yeah, I know. But as far as like other programs besides just weightlifting, I mean, you also do cardio and things of that nature.
Yep. We work mostly, and I'm speaking for myself. I work mostly with mobility, balance, flexibility, things like that. There is strength training in that, but the large majority of what I do is that mobility and flexibility training.
Is the biggest obstacle for these your clients? Is it just getting them in the mindset of working out? Because I mean, even for people without these disabilities, working out is a
very hard.
Yeah, it's I don't want to do this today kind of routine. I mean, get there. It's not something that not everybody enjoys. Is it hard to get them in sometimes in that mindset of doing this?
Not
on a routine
necessarily.
basis?
Not necessarily. Because it's more. Again, I'm speaking for my clients. I'm not speaking for some of my other trainers' clients because I don't know them personally. Mine have a tendency to like working out with me. Now, independently, that's probably never going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
Even though I would love for it, and I try to teach them how to utilize the equipment and be able to use it correctly. But they keep coming to me.
And you also, besides physical fitness, and all that, you talk about like nutrition, weight. Maintaining your weight and things like that.
Again, that's not my specialty. I can easily put on 20 pounds in a month, so we're not.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, do you teach that to your clients?
Yeah, we do. Okay. We do very much try to teach basic nutrition, but the ice cream tastes very good.
Yes, I know, and they want to, like everybody else, they want a reward. That's why Mom brought the oranges after the ball game.
Hey, at least it was oranges and not Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts and Gatorade, which, for a 4 or 5-year-old, they don't need Gatorade.
They don't need
Pop-Tarts.
After like a soccer game or something like that? No.
Where they played or laid on the ground.
We had orange slices and Gatorade and, Mom's, or apple slices or, good stuff.
My healthy stuff.
No wonder this generation's going, after the...
I love the little goodie bags with all the little toys in them also. My kids will play with those in the car.
Yeah, well, it gets you home in one piece. And there's a little bit of sanity left, but holy cow, things have sure changed.
Rice Krispie treats.
Here you are,
Yeah.
Supposed to be, Miss Fitness and Health in here.
Oh, I give
Here's a
trail
Snickers
mix.
bar.
Yeah. I give trail mix and bottled water.
Okay.
I am not the liked mom. Let me tell you that.
Oh, it's like, so it's your turn. It's like, oh, geez.
You're like, I'm
so-and-so's
the
mom.
orange and apple slices. Yes.
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
Anyway, did you, let's get back on the rails here.
Squirrel.
Did you send Taylor some pictures?
I did.
Taylor, did you
I
have
got video.
And video? Well,
Video.
you have it all booted up?
And nobody wants to hear my voice on those videos.
No. Of course
We can leave
do.
the audio off.
No.
Well, because it's mostly like, woo, way to go.
Well,
you have an iPhone, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Next time I'm going to have to email it.
What is this?
So a lot of times as we age in general, that whole, there's stuff behind us becomes like an issue. This, A, you're walking up and down steps, but B, you're also walking backwards. So we're strengthening the knees, the quads, the calves. We're stretching out, as you see right there. You're stretching out the ankle that's stepping up. But we're also going, look, you can know where your body is in space. So.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, and how old is this gentleman?
52.
Yeah, he didn't look like a kid.
Nope. No, I typically work with a lot older. He loves music. So he tolerates the workout just so that he can listen to the music.
Well, do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
What does he listen to?
Show tunes.
All right.
That's awesome.
Well, it's fine.
Show tunes like the opening of
Whoa.
TV shows.
He almost fell down. It looks like he did.
He didn't fall.
Oh, okay,
he ran out of the
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, and then, what is this activity?
So these are called blaze pods, and they light up. They're really for reaction timing. But for me, you can see he has to find the light, and then he has to travel back and forth from the spots. We can take them off the wall and put them on the floor, and then he has to go from the wall to, oh, there's one over there. Let me turn around. Again, realizing that there's something going on behind him, and go after it.
How do you communicate what needs to be done on those exercises?
That is one of the things. We have to have somebody who can follow directions.
Right.
We are not asking for perfection, obviously.
Right.
But I have to be able to say, here's a weight. Don't chunk it at my head. Don't drop it on your foot. Not that that's what I say, but here's a weight. Please lift it to here. Again, it doesn't have to look perfect, but they've got to be able to follow some sort of directions. I do have a couple clients, like the one you just saw with the lights. When he goes to lift weights, he physically does it. However, he's not able to adjust his speed or his strength. And so I will typically hold the weight or the machine or the whatever, also kind of like a hand over hand type.
Yeah.
Even though he's moving it, I'm making sure he doesn't whack himself in the face
That'd be
or
bad.
rip his arm off.
Yeah.
Or,
That ruined everybody's day.
yeah. So, there's a little safety concern in there.
Well, I mean, so you've had people come in and you just had to tell them, I can't help you.
I have never had anybody come in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not had somebody that I can't do something with.
All right. Well, so what about unfortunates that are in wheelchairs? Can you help them?
Oh, yes.
Okay, how would you do that?
Well, so we have mats up that you didn't see in there, but we have mats that we can transfer to. We also have a whole cable machine equipment that we can use. If the grip strength isn't quite there, we have a glove that you can put on, and it just wraps around the wrist, and then it goes, like your fingers will go around the weight, and then it snaps in, and so your hand is stuck to the weight now. So the weight isn't going to go flying out of your hand because you can't hold it. So we've got that, and then we can do the exercises from there. And again, it may be me holding on to the cable so that it doesn't go flying, but
How did you learn all this? I mean,
years of practice.
That's what I'm thinking. It must have taken you some time. Now, if I recall, you didn't go to college for this directly. You kind of moved into it, right?
Yeah. So I went to college for kinesiology.
Right.
I was going to be a physical therapist. Yay.
Well, in a sense, you are, right?
Well, sort of, only without the therapy degree.
Who needs that?
There are, some people. I've got a lot of friends who are therapists, and they're like, bless them. When I graduated, I had to go on and do some classes, and about 3 classes into the 6 that I had to take, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that was before I could go on and get my master's, and that's when it was a master's, and now it's a doctorate.
You have a doctorate?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
No. It is to be a physical therapist. You're now a doctor of physical therapy.
Well, I had a couple of students that got into therapy school, and they say it's really, really hard to get in.
Everybody wants to do it.
Well, they can have my space. I don't have that kind of patience, I really don't. And so, by the way, you still getting up at crack of dawn doing those stuff over at the Brick?
Yes.
That's craziness. It's like 4:30 or something like that.
I wake up at 4 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I teach 5 and 6, and then I go home. I deal with my kids for about 45 minutes, and then take them to school, and then I start my day.
What time do you go to sleep at night? At like 8?
8:45.
Oh my gosh.
That was last night. Sometimes 9:30.
Oh man. 4 in the morning, that's just not right.
We're special type of people.
I guess so.
I always tell people, and I joke because I've been doing this since college. I always taught the 5, 6 a.m. just because when you go in for a job and they're like, we have a 5 a.m. boot camp, you're like, okay. So, we're working on 22 years of doing this.
Yeah. It's like when I got hired at this, I've been student teaching at the upper levels at Trinity High School. And I got hired. The person was 7th grade Texas history, and I was like, "Yay!" But the principal time says, "Why do you want to teach this?" And I says, "That's what the job is, and I need one." So, boom, got the job.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you do.
Like
once you get your foot in the door, then you can do what you really want.
No, I'm only going to teach college-bound seniors. And I'll see you at the Albertsons because sacking groceries or something like that.
Yeah.
So, about the funding of this? Okay, how do you fund yourself? I know you charge for
so we have,
but you do have other funding sources.
But we do fundraisers, we have sponsors, all that kind of stuff.
That's the fun part of the job, isn't it?
It is my least favorite.
Yes,
I am very, very bad at asking for money.
Yeah, I am too in a way. It's like when I talk to somebody about potentially sponsoring, I'm like, well, you can sponsor if you want.
I don't even go that far. I'm like, so.
Yeah. My friend Bill here says, Jessica has an awesome facility. Her knowledge and dedication to help restore an individual's desire to become or remain independent as possible is incredible. And that is true. I mean,
Bill's a sweetheart.
Yeah. There's a couple people might want to take a rebuttal on that, but
So he's a sweetheart to me.
Yeah, right. No, he's a good guy. He just like to stir the pot. But anyway,
he did install my water filter. Oh, by the way, my water filter. I'm going to name drop right now.
Okay,
Michelle with Hotworks donated that.
She called me up. She was a sponsor. She called me up about 3 months ago and said. She was almost tearful. It's like, well, I'm going to have to move my sponsorship to her Las Colinas store. And because the people wanted her to advertise that because Hotworks is so popular here now that they're basically almost at capacity, or if not more so. And she's like, I got to promote the other store more. So I miss her sponsorship, but I don't, hey, she did the right thing.
Right.
And she's very civic oriented as well. Every year she donates to all the various charities around here.
Oh yeah, she's always been a big donator.
I'm sure y'all have some in common though, because people, probably your clients could benefit for some of the things.
Yeah, some of them definitely can.
From maybe the lower impact stuff.
Oh yeah, but even just being in an infrared sauna is really good for your muscles, especially if physically you can handle it. So I have some clients that the heat, dry or wet, cannot handle that. It just sends them into all sorts of health issues. But I do have several that also partake from her as well and just kind of go in there and hang out.
dealing with these type of clients, you probably have to be exceptionally adaptable.
Oh yeah.
Do some of them? I'm trying to find a good way to ask this. Are some of them emotionally difficult because what you're asking them to do is out of their norm?
Yeah. So I go out to a group home out or a day hab facility out in Keene. And I've been working with them pretty much since day one. And I've slowly built up my clientele over there. So we sat down because I am at max capacity of who I can handle there. So we sat down, with one of the people who works with them and can drive them back and forth. And I said, how can we get them to my place so that both of 2 or 3 of the trainers can work with them, and then in an hour we get 3 or 4 of them done instead of 1.
Well, here's what I meant is that
I was getting there.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that down the hall from me at the DHS was the wing that handled special ed students, those with disabilities, and I was pretty good friends with those teachers, and they said that some of them are so by the schedule.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And anything that disrupted that schedule or something introduced to them that was new,
they're gonna.
They sometimes they reacted. Has that ever been a problem for you?
Yeah, so this is about to be a problem. I've got 2 of them that we were writing out the names, right? We're like, oh, that one and that one are gonna stay with me. Those 2, first off, the fact that we're putting them in a car and transporting them from Keene to my facility for an hour, 2 hours, is going to be an issue, right? Just to be able to work through that. But the fact that I will be there will help it go a little bit better. But there are times I walk in the door and they're like, I'm not working with you today. All right, cool.
Really?
I'm going to take her instead.
Well, it just, there's a couple of times because I was sometimes the only male available. I had to go down there and help and that kind of stuff. And it shakes you up.
Yeah, especially, we've got a client, I don't personally, but we've got a client that's, 6'8" and
Lord of mercy.
And I'm 5'5", and, one of my other trainers is like 5'2", and another one's like 5'6", 5'7", so we're talking like, hi.
Yeah.
If he decided to go off one day, we'd be like, all right, I'm done.
Well, I know that's always a possibility, but for the very most part, most of my encounters with those kids were fine, know, and they always appreciated the fact that, that since I was down the hall and they would sell mums for homecoming or other things, and I'd come over to my classroom and the kids all treated them fine, they were real sweet to them, and they came into my class or they would having some other kind of fundraiser and I'd rattling on about, I don't know, World War II, who knows? And, they'd come knock on the door. The kids like, come on in, we
like,
don't
wait
mind.
a minute, I was teaching.
But they're like, well, Allard, you just cool your jets.
Yeah, you don't need to talk about World War II.
Yeah, we'll watch the movie, okay? And that's kind of stuff. But that's
good for showing your students that there are people who are different than them and that there's nothing wrong with those people. Because a lot of times we see people in the community that are different, and especially as a child, my children are rather young, and they'll be like, what's wrong with him? I was like, nothing is wrong with him. Why don't you ask how he became an amputee, how he became wheelchair bound? Why don't you ask him why they're blind? Why they're...
Well, but see, I get the impression that most of your clients have mental disabilities.
Most of mine do. Mine, personally, yes.
But so do you have others that may be disabled, but not mentally, but they physically disabled? And so you handle both. But I guess in my mind, what I see what you're talking about is like what you showed on the film. On that little clip there, the gentleman going up and down the steps and whatever else. Those kind of developmental issues.
Oh, yeah.
But you have people there that maybe just...
Intellectually totally fine. I have a couple that have scoliosis. I have some that have dementia, which kind of goes with the intellectual as it progresses. But when we started...
So you have that clients that old?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, in my head, I also think of your clients mostly as... Maybe from late teens to about mid-30s.
No, most of mine are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Really? Well, see, I learned something today.
Yeah.
Right? But that's interesting. But dementia is getting to be a problem. You know,
It's hitting more and more people.
Well, because they're living longer.
Yep.
You know, because people like you keep us fit. You know?
We try. We try.
Yeah. Well, if you keep feeding them Pop-Tarts after ball games, I don't know if we're going to make it, but still.
Oh my goodness.
And then, but the point is that there are people in my family, older relatives, that they don't have Alzheimer's, but they have dementia issues.
Yeah.
But they're still pretty active physically.
As long as they are physically active, I mean, that's great. It's when the mobility, being able to get up from the bed, going and stepping over the shower threshold, those kinds of things. Like I said, we work on, me personally, mobility, flexibility, that kind of stuff.
Well, I have a hard time getting out of bed.
Come on, yeah.
We talk about two different things here. I'm just a lazy slob, so
I can kick your patootie.
Yeah, right. But I ain't getting up at 4. I can tell you that now. But
no, I don't start seeing anybody till about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And we go until about 3, and then I have a couple clients that are in the afternoon.
Okay. So you don't have like night sessions or not? Anything like that?
9 p.m.?
9 p.m.?
No, I'm in bed. I don't understand those people.
Yeah. Well, I just figured, I have later sessions, maybe 7 in the evening or something. No, you got a family to take care of.
Yes, hopefully I'm in bed around 7, 8 o'clock. I am not asleep at that time.
Oh, who is? I mean, you got those kids running around.
No, they're hopefully in bed too.
At 7 o'clock? What is this?
So since they were little, I have every single time we eat around 6 o'clock and then they play till about 7:15. Then it's go take a bath, go get ready for bed. We read book, we sing songs, we love on them, da-da-da-da-da.
Sing songs?
Sing songs,
Like the Von Trapp family here or what?
No.
Yeah.
When Cam was little, he took a class over at TCU, and I cannot remember the name of it. It's like music. I think it's called Music Together. And it came with CDs, and we would listen to it in the car. And there is still, my kid is 11. This was when he was like 3. This was right when the girls were born. And still to this day, he wants me to do it. And it's tickle, tickle. And it's literally, I tickle him, and he tries very hard not to laugh. And he's 11.
Good grief. I'm sure if some future date, if you ever dredge up this old podcast here, he's going to be, Mom! He
is not embarrassed yet.
Not yet. Does he still hug his mom goodbye?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll give it time.
Yeah. He's not quite there yet.
My son are like, we give a knuckle bump, and that's about it,
No, he'll still run up and hug me at school, and I'll be like, I love you. On car drop off, he's like, love you too.
All 3 of you kids at Holy Cross?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's where my children went, and that's really a good thing. Holy Cross really helped my son and daughter.
Yeah, I would agree.
To a certain point. Back then, the school was only to the 5th grade. Now you say they're adding high school every year. No?
So the 9th grade that just finished this year, there were 5 girls. They're going on to 10th grade.
Well, good for them.
Yep.
Well, 5 girls are not going to have much of a football team, I suppose, but whatever.
You
never know.
See.
You could coach it.
No. I do not know anything about football.
Well,
even though Lily plays football.
Really?
She plays flag football.
Well, I mean, it's
She's such a sweetheart. I'm afraid tackle football, she'd be run over every day.
Well, they have girls play it now, and
I know,
and it's
just her personally. I don't think that she would, at this current moment, that she would push anybody over.
Well, back to the matter at hand here.
Squirrels.
Squirrels. What? Yeah.
Yep.
But how can one help your facility financially and otherwise?
So it is my birthday coming up.
Ah, yes.
Yay. Every year, Facebook does this, like, which thing are you going to give money to this year? So that is set up and ready to go. So definitely through Facebook. It is not posted yet. Don't look for it.
Okay.
I will send you the link, however.
All right.
And then we are working, and I know I've been talking about this for years, doing like a little triathlon, but like a low mobility triathlon.
I mean, like a semi competition with low stakes competition.
Yeah. Just kind of to move. So there'll be a little bit of yoga warm-up type, a little bit of, dynamic stretching type stuff, and then hopefully walk around Bailey Lake, and then some meditation at the end.
Do you have space at your facility, like outdoor space that you could use?
Oh, probably so.
Yeah, because over here where you were before,
there's nothing.
Yeah, no room at all. I always thought, okay, we have this Fitability and then bread and butter right next to it. It's like, I wonder if sometimes people will say, we're going over here instead.
Oh, yeah. And then I would have clients go from my space and be like, I want to go get breakfast, or I'm going to go get dinner.
Yeah, or have some sort of, have biscuits and gravy after you just give them a good workout.
Yeah.
Well, still better than a Pop-Tart. Anyway, but I'm just saying. But also, just financially, otherwise, not just that. You have a page that has a donate button and all that business?
Oh, yeah. So our website does.
Do you have the website?
Taylor, do you have it?
You may have it from a previous show.
FitabilityTX.org.
Yeah, see, he's so good.
.org. Because we are a nonprofit.
Well, it's on that screen. It'll be on this screen in a minute.
Oh, look. There it is.
Yeah. There
sign
it
up,
is.
Taylor, sign up.
Yeah, sign up or subscribe to our email list. Boy, I've got enough of those going on.
I am going to tell you, I am horrible.
Thank you. Yeah, well, see, that's fine. If you send anything there.
Bestpodcast.com.
Yeah, well, you go ahead and set something there. I'll bounce right back to you. But there you are.
There it is, right up at the top.
Yeah, and there's some of your photos of your clients.
So that is the Dayhab facility out in Keene. Like I said, that I've been working with for 4 years now. And then that is my very first client ever, Billy.
Billy.
Yep.
Still with you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Still with me. Still kicking it.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And then this actually right at the top is a warm-up that I did for the Center for ASD's, one of their 5Ks that they did.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Well, yeah, they're going to be on in about 6 weeks.
Awesome.
With that B&I meeting I had this morning, or one-to-one, was with Bianca Lowry, whom you probably have met. And they're getting on the schedule.
Good.
Yeah, just like you are on September 21st.
Yes.
And
we'll be here.
Yeah. But they have the donate button. They can give money. They give.
Yep.
You take volunteer and time, like you people that work.
Well, we need people to help set up this, triathlon type thing. So that would definitely be volunteer.
But you don't have volunteers that teach these classes.
I would not be opposed to taking volunteers.
Really? I thought you had to have some sort of certification.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you can't volunteer.
Oh, okay. All right, fine.
Yeah.
But to work for you, to have clients, you need to have all the paperwork. You can't. It ain't, as good as your intentions are, you still have to have the education.
You have to have the backing. Yeah, my insurance won't cover you if you don't. Sorry.
The state of Texas, I'm sure, has certain requirements.
No.
Not really.
No, it's so it is my personal. Of course, like I said, the insurance covers you when you walk through my door. But if you are not a certified personal trainer, the insurance and you get sued, the insurance won't cover you. So. You have to be a certified personal trainer to train clients one-on-one, and then a group fitness instructor or personal trainer if you want to teach group fitness classes.
Well, that was an impression Texas, because they're in everybody else's business, would require certain things of you.
There is so we are the redheaded stepchild. Us fitness professionals, they don't know. Nobody ever watches over us.
Well, and I'm sure you interact with the other fitness-related outfits in this town. Because maybe some of your clients can handle CrossFit or handle Hot Works or, that kind of thing. But I guess in my mind, when I think of fitability, I think of like the young man or the 52-year-old guy stepping up and down that step.
Right.
It looked like a water cooler to me, but I'm sure it's professional equipment.
They are steps,
But, it didn't like, hey, let's bring out the water cooler from garage and make it.
He also participates in yoga.
Yeah.
So where he lives, he and his mom go to a yoga class. That doesn't mean he's going to be doing headstands anytime soon.
No, but the other thing, the benefit is the sense of participating in something, just to be a part of something must be really, really big for these people.
Yeah.
Because they're quite often, they're not, part of the main group.
No.
Like at the high school, they had their own wing. And as much as they would try to integrate those students into school life, like dances and, and things of that nature, they could participate in the classroom in many cases, most cases.
And try when they become an adult and then they graduate high school, of course, at 21, 22. So they get to go, as you know, they get to go to high school a lot longer. But they hit 21, 22. And if you are not of the working class, if you cannot hold down a job, you get sent to a group home where you get, sit at home with a caregiver and... You know, what happens at that point.
I would think that what you provide is probably more valuable in terms of their emotional involvement than just their physical.
We're trying.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
No, really, I've said this many times. I'm blessed to be doing this podcast because I talk to people like you, and like yesterday, I talked to Debbie Beeman at Promises and Jennifer Woods at Harvest House. Crazy Eight's coming next Thursday, and I'm like, I get
These are things you may not ever know about.
I didn't know about them 4 years ago.
Right.
I mean, I knew Harvest House and knew Promises, but I didn't know you, and I didn't know these other things that are going on, Center for ASD and whatnot. And I just think there's a lot of good things going on in this community.
Yeah. When I started, I didn't know about the Center for ASD either.
Well, they contacted me and I said I didn't even know we had one.
Yeah.
And
they have expanded drastically since I first met Lisa.
And that's another thing I always liked about that show we did last September and doing this September is the camaraderie that you ladies had. You all know each other and you all support each other. You probably cross-reference each other. I'm sure if you run across somebody that, needs temporary assistance or whatnot, you know where to go.
I had a parent contact me not too long ago and was... The way he was talking, I was like, I don't think I'm what you're looking for. I think you need more of a summer camp. And so I sent him the information for the Center for ASD.
And that's it was just really touching almost to see, because I didn't feel one iota of competition. I felt like everybody was pulling together on this. And so I just feel very, very blessed. And this community is blessed by you, very much so.
You.
Very much so. The last couple of minutes are yours to tell us what you want us all to know.
I just want people to know that we're out there.
And,
the more people that we have, the more people we can help. We're definitely looking for trainers and group fitness instructors. We're also looking for clients. The more people, and, like I've told you before, it doesn't necessarily have to be with an intellectual disability. It can be a physical disability or even somebody with dementia. They're not technically considered disabled when they first get diagnosed with dementia, but let's start working where you are now, because a lot of times your insurance will deem that as, oh, you're never getting any better. We don't need to help you. And so you go from being ambulatory, being able to do things like feed yourself and dress yourself, to literally overnight not being able to.
Yes.
And I will say personally, I've had that issue. So my dad had muscular dystrophy. Before he passed away, he was in the hospital. The first hospital we went to, they were very much like, let's get you better. Let's get you up and rolling. Second hospital was a rehab hospital. They were very much like, here's PT, here's OT, here's speech therapy. Let's get you off the ventilator, all that kind of stuff. Third hospital we went to said, oh, no, he doesn't need any of that services. And he went from being able to control the remote control to sit up, to lift his arm, to be able to get in and out of bed. Now, this wasn't like he still needed assistance, but he could stand up to help transfer from the bed to a chair to not even being able to lift his finger before he passed away in literally a month and a half.
My dad has dementia, but he doesn't have Alzheimer's because he knows who I am, where he is, and where things are. You have to tell him more than once. The same thing. But he also is in very, very good shape because he did bike riding for like a long, long time. Did that bike race up in Wichita Falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he did the hunting tour, not recently because it's
a couple years ago.
prior to COVID. Yeah. And so I worry about him. I really do, because my mom is trying to take care of him, and she's at that age, and physically it's tough, Yep. But so far, we haven't had some of the issues that a lot of other dementia patients are going through. And so God willing, we won't have to. But anyway, I appreciate what you do for the community. And
well, when he gets a point, send him my way.
Well, he lives in Corsicana.
Oh, well, then never mind. Don't send him my way. I wish I knew somebody in Corsicana.
Yeah, well, they do stuff.
Good.
Like, I don't know if it's at his church, like somebody like you comes in. Because something like that, and they'll do some stuff. And he stays very physically active. That is the best stained patio in Vero County. I'm telling you, because he has restained that.
That's awesome.
He's an outdoor, wood patio, very nice one.
And he did it himself.
He didn't build it, but he stained that thing to the point where it's going to take a nuclear bomb to disrupt it. I mean,
maybe you can come do mine.
And he put in a rose garden.
Nice.
Stuff like that. So
as long as he stays active. And active doesn't necessarily have to be I'm going to the gym. It can be I'm going for a walk or I'm going gardening.
Yeah, see, I need to get back into that. I was a bit more active.
Before COVID?
Yeah, to some degree. And I think it's just... as I get older, I get lazier. I don't know.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Right.
COVID took a number on a lot of people.
But now you've inspired me.
Good.
Yeah, so now I'm not going to call for my daughter to come bring me my Dr. Pepper. I'm going to actually get up and get it.
I mean, I've got kids. Like, hey, go get this for me.
Well, anyway, Taylor, thanks for your ambidextrous and whatnot. Getting ready there. Yeah, ambidextrous, the way you can handle all this.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm trying to say.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. It's all good. I don't know what the word dexterous or whatever, how he can handle all that technical stuff. I'm like...
Multitasking.
All right. We have another nonprofit on Thursday with Liz Hargrove with Crazy 8 Ministries. Next week, we're going to talk about local politics. I got Victoria on, and I got another special guest. We're going to talk about what's going on with the state legislature and what they're doing to our small towns. It ain't good, so we'll talk about that then. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sure.